Hi everyone, how are you guys tonight? You guys, we're live here in the bathroom again. I know it's your favorite place to hang out with us. My name is Brandy. I am the owner and artist behind Brushed by Brandy. There is a little bit of an echo in here, but maybe it magnifies my voice too. So if it feels like I'm yelling at you, that's why.
It's not the sound of music.
I'm not mad. I'm not mad. You guys, my husband, yeah, you know how, that's why people sing in the shower. It has the best acoustics in here, right? No?
Not if someone else is in here.
You guys, my husband Sean is here tonight to help answer any questions, so he'll read those off to me as we go. So if you guys have any questions along the way, pop on and ask them. But tonight, so last week we came in and we painted my bathroom, and so this is how it turned out. We're working on this bathroom right now. Our house is new construction, but we built it ourselves.
It's almost their construction.
Yeah. We built it ourselves, so pretty much everything, it's taken a long time. We've lived here about 2.5 years, and we just finished the tile in this shower. Okay, I had a shower curtain up hiding it. We just finished this tile, so I'm finishing off this bathroom to be a completed project. Another room in our house that's done. That's where we are right now. So we painted this wall last week using Wise Owl 1 Hour ceramic, which is this ceramic finish paint, and it's got the most pretty sheen on it. It's very soft when you feel it. It feels like a ceramic. So it's made of ceramic microspheres that reflect the light.
I feel like I need a chart. Like when you start doing the hand thing, and we're talking
I'm
about...
I'm a hand talker. Sorry, guys. So it just is the prettiest sheen. It does remind me, you know, after I got off last week, I was like, how do you... I know. After I got off last week, I was like, how do I describe this sheen? Oh, ceramic. Yeah, Sean's making dad jokes behind the camera to me. But what I want to add to it is I want to add a stencil. So I told you guys last week I was thinking I wanted to go with this star design here. I think I'm going to change my mind on this, which I'm entitled to do, right? It's what I do. Happens a lot. As I put my arm up like this, I want to explain to you guys, I do have poison oak right now.
It looks like you tried to like play Indiana Jones off the back of a truck. Yeah. Wow, hello.
So no, last week we were clearing our property, stacking wood, doing burn piles, things like that. I was on wood stacking duty.
For like 5 minutes.
Yeah, I didn't even, well, it was like 10. I mean, I did do something. I think I'm going to go with this design here. I like that it's nice and elaborate, but it's not too frilly, like girly.
I mean, we're talking a boys' bathroom here.
Yeah, this is, I have boys, and so it will be boys using this bathroom. And so I think I like this. It's a nice lattice pattern that's, I feel like it's kind of sophisticated. So I think I'm going to go with this one here. And this one,
get all up in your business.
I'll add a link to the post after I get off. This is from Royal Design Studio Stencils. And this one's called Large Italian Medallion. Ooh.
Sounds like a wrestling name.
Large Italian Stallion.
Oh, jeez.
This is the Stallone of stencils.
Yeah, I was going to say you get extra points if you know who that is.
So this is the package here. And it's called Large Italian Medallion. So there's probably a small Italian medallion. Don't make it feel like it's less than. Because usually they offer their stencils in different sizes, and this is the large version.
I do apologize for camera angles. I literally have like a 3-foot working space.
It's a standard bathroom, like the tub, toilet, and then a 2-person vanity. Like
now I gotta put a tub in?
Well, I mean, it could have accommodated a tub. We chose to put the shower in. It actually did have a tub in there, and we took it out. Okay, so what am I going to use tonight? So what I'm going to use for this is I'm going to use a foam roller, a high density foam. Okay, this one's made by Wiz, W-H-I-Z-Z, any high density foam roller. You guys know I like to use a flocked roller a lot, which is kind of this like hairy roller. But I want to go over the stencil. I want something that has like 0 texture, 0 absorbency. Okay, so that's why I'm going to go with the flocked roller. It has some absorbency, but I'm not going to saturate it enough to really, you know, be full. Whereas this has a tiny bit of, the hairs on it will leave a tiny bit of texture. So I'm not going to use my flocked roller. We're going to use a high density foam. I have my roller tray out. we are going to use a high gloss clear coat. Okay, so this is a water-based clear coat. This one is from Annie Sloan. So this is her gloss clear. Okay, so let me pop this lid off. You always want to stir. You always want to stir your clear coats anytime you use them. And when you stir, you want to pull up from the bottom so that you're pulling any of those particles into the mixture that might have settled at the bottom. Sometimes products can have settling. Make sure you pull, stir, pull, stir. You don't want to shake your clear coats because that can introduce bubbles into it. So try to stir them instead. All right. I'm gonna put this on a shop towel.
Tina, I much prefer a high density Italian stallion over
there you go. Now we're talking.
And Cindy did mention the Techno is the best for poison oak, but I beg to differ.
Yeah, so this is
prednisone is the best for poison oak.
Prednisone.
Just going right to the doctor.
Okay, so my uncle was a fire chief, and he worked for Cal Fire a lot and did all that, and so he totally has given us like the lowdown on here's what you're gonna do. Okay, so what is it? Xanfel?
Xanfel is the one that I love.
That's got a little bit of an abrasive in it, so that one's good for poison oak. It dries it out really quickly, and I'll swear by this, you guys. We live on acreage. I get poison oak. Honestly, I'm abrasive to it. Just open it up so it can dry out. I don't try to like pamper it so it stays moisture. Nope, let's get straight to the end.
There's no Candida here.
I'm gonna fast forward right through it. So I like the abrasive. Let's open it up and get right to the end. I also had a nurse this week tell me that Fells Naphtha, which is it's a laundry soap, but it's pretty inexpensive. It's like $1 a bar, and said that'll dry your skin out really good too. Okay, so I'm going to use my clear coat, but let me tell you what I'm going to do with this clear coat that's a little different. I'm actually going to measure it.
What?
I know, it's not my favorite thing to do ever.
I'm glad that you're using the cooking measuring cups.
Yeah. You guys grab one of these sets and you use for paint. You can get these at like the dollar store, a set of measuring cups that you can use so that on the rare time that you do want to measure, you can. I'm going to use 1 cup of my clear coat, and I'll show you in a minute why I'm measuring this. Can you go get me a spatula?
Seriously?
Yeah.
Am I going to go get stuff?
You can just get one of the dollar store ones out of the kitchen. Nope. Okay, I'm doing 1 cup of my clear coat, and I'm going to dump it into my tray. Okay, I'm going to let this drain kind of on the edge right here and show you what I'm going to mix with it. I'm going to mix some pearlescent glaze into it. So this is Wise Owl pearlescent glaze. I really like the Wise Owl glazes because they have they have so many colors. So, they have your standard like black, gray, white, but it also has like a green patina glaze, and this is their pearlescent, and they have like a bronze one. There's one called Stardust that's sparkly. So many glazes that, and I like it. It's a good formula too. So I'm going to use their glaze tonight, but I want to measure it because I don't want, you can stencil full on in the glaze, but I just want a really, really subtle pearlescent sheen. Just so it catches the light, but I don't want all out pearlescent. So that's why I'm doing that. So I'm going to take my measuring cup and my glaze.
Oh man.
And I'm going to do, this is a 1/4 cup to my 1 cup of clear coat.
You're a 1/4 cup to my 1 cup.
I don't know how to take that.
I don't either.
Okay, and I'm going to I got to mix it in, so I'm just going to spread it out. And I'm going to make sure that my measuring cup is as empty as I can get it. So this way, because I don't think I'm going to do this entire wall out of 1 mixture, I'm probably going to have to mix this a few times.
I agree, Glenda.
What?
Between shop towels and measuring stuff, like what happened to Sean's shirts?
I know. Well, because I'm in my house.
Well, and I work from home. I'm
actually in my house. Like, my workspace has all the gross stuff. So I'm just cleaning this out so that I can get my measurements as precise as possible so that when I do have to remix this, I know what I was working with the first time.
Oh, Yvonne, we were talking about poison oak, drying it out.
Oh, what's she like? Why are you talking about drying your skin out? I have poison oak right now, guys. Raise your hand.
I don't think you need to tell anybody.
Raise your hand if you have poison oak.
I think it's known.
I'm on the tail end of it.
Well, that or leprosy. One of the two.
Yeah, it's not leprosy. I got it actually last weekend, so I'm on the tail end of it. It's drying out. It's not that itchy anymore. The first couple days of it are like, oh my god! But I'm kind of past that phase now. It's common, guys. We get it. I don't know.
At least once a year.
Our land. I'm stirring this just using a stir stick. I'm going to mix these as much as I can. Again, I'm not going for that full pearlescent sheen. I could even I can see how the light is catching it. You guys, it's so pretty. It's a little tiny bit of like glitters that are in my gloss clear coat. I'm using gloss because this 1 Hour ceramic paint has kind of a matte sheen to it. And this is going to contrast with the matte sheen. Oh, this is so pretty.
I'm really fighting, by the way.
I know.
Is Matt Charlie's brother?
Should I just give you one time? Just one time.
Just get them all out?
Yeah. Matt Sheen is Charlie's brother. I know it's really hard for you guys to see, but this pearlescent clear coat in the light, and especially in bathroom light, like you know how it's kind of that orangey incandescent lighting. Actually, this is LED.
That's just my skin tone.
It's got the prettiest just pearlescent sheen, and it's not too overt. Like I don't want full-on sparkle in here, guys. So that's why I kind of dulled it down. I'm even kind of debating, do I want to put another quarter cup in there so it's 2 to 1? How do you feel about sparkle? Where do you stand on that?
Not commenting.
I would be scared if you really had an opinion on it.
Yeah.
Okay, so I kind of came in here and measured out my stencil so I know how many rows I'm going to get out of it. I know that I want to start in this bottom corner, and what I considered when I decided here to start versus up at the ceiling was when you come in this room, you see here first. Up at the ceiling, we do have 10-foot ceilings in our house, so it doesn't draw your eye. I'm going to end up with a partial stencil up there. I'd rather have my partial up top than have it down at the bottom.
See, Michelle, these are important questions.
What?
Is pearlescent Charlie Sheen's sister?
Yeah.
The people want to know.
Yeah, I mean,
I need a family tree.
She's not a pretty one, but
she's got a great attitude.
Yeah, but she makes you laugh. So, okay, I'm gonna tear off some painter's tape for my stencil. I'm not gonna use a stencil adhesive on this. You can.
I know. Who would have thought, Holly? The boys don't like a blingy bathroom.
I know. I'm trying to be respectful.
At least it's not pink.
As tempting as it gets sometimes. Okay, I'm gonna run this right up to my base molding and right up to my shower. Okay, and then I'm gonna hope that Sean got this at a 90-degree angle. Huh?
How do you know that the base molding isn't off?
Yeah, I don't.
Huh? Why do I gotta be blind?
Well, I'll find out when I get to that corner if my stencil's going. Then it's not. Okay, and I'm gonna tape this in place so it stays. And I'm gonna tape it quite a bit because I'm gonna get my stencil as nice and taut as I can.
Whoa. No reason to throw up big words and then stop talking.
Taut?
Do you want to push the button on this thing? It's the line that goes...
Okay, yeah, let's talk about that.
I can't reach it, is why I ask you to the one that, yeah.
The on button?
There's two different buttons. There's one...
This on button over here?
Yeah. There we go.
Okay, so this is a laser level. I really would kind of like it to look good when I'm done. So I'm going to use a laser level. For this first row, it's pretty easy because I do know my base molding is level.
So it's going to be my fault?
So for my next row, when I go to stack this, I want to get a level line. If you get out of whack on one stencil placement, it's going to show in your whole design. Okay, so I'm going to take my high density foam roller and I'm going to roll it into my roller tray, but I'm going to lay off as much as I can. I don't want it super, super saturated. I don't need a lot of material on. So you shut that door, got even more echoey in here.
Oh.
Can you hear that?
It is not. The base molding is not.
Well, who installed that?
I sure didn't. I think it was the guys that we paid for 3 hours of labor to put one base molding in.
Deny. All right. Well, I will line up the
Whatever,
top.
but I know how you're rolling.
I'll line up the top with my laser level then as I go across. So if you can run a laser level. You could also measure out and then mark out a straight line on there, but you want to make sure your stencil is nice and level. So I rolled off my roller as much as possible. I'd like to have as even of glaze or my clear coat on there as possible. I don't want a heavy concentration of it at one end, so I try to keep it as even as possible. I'm not going to do a high pressure on my roller, okay? I'm just going to lightly roll it over the stencil because I don't want it to squeeze into the stencil because I kind of squeezed out the moisture. That is so annoying. Do you hear this roller?
No, I'm just hearing her talking. What were we talking about? Annoying stuff?
My roller's squeaky. So
nope, I don't hear it.
Okay, and I'm just going to make sure I can just see the kind of glittery on here. As I'm looking at it, I really like that pearlescent, guys. I might add another 1/4 cup to it. I kind of think I want to add a little bit more. So
yes, Marilyn, as far as blank space, so that I didn't want to have to cut the transfer.
Yeah, I could cut my stencil down here.
Sorry, stencil.
I don't want to cut my stencil. I kind of like it. I could cut it to run at the bottom. I don't want to cut it. So I think I'm going to come back after I do all my placement and I'll just fill in this blank so there's not a space at the bottom. But I don't really want to cut my stencil. That's the other option, is I just cut it to size. I love this pearlescent. I did a 1/4 cup. I'm going to do another 1/4. I kind of want a little bit more. So
yes, Dana, I know. Just remember it's a boys' bathroom.
Forget them. That's where I was at first. Forget them.
We'll just guide them straight to the shower.
Did they build the house?
Oh man.
So now I'm at 2 to 1. I'm at a 2 to 1 ratio. So a full cup of my clear coat gloss and a 1/2 cup of my pearlescent glaze. When you're mixing like this, make sure that your products are compatible. So this is a water-based clear coat, a water-based glaze. You can even make your own glazes like this. So you can use a clear coat and then put a little bit of paint in it to just tint the clear coat and make your own glazes, like a glazing medium. The only thing when you do that, it does tend to set up faster than an actual glazing medium does. All right, so I added that little bit more of sparkle with my pearlescent clear coat, pearlescent glaze. Oh, it's so pretty. I know you guys can't see it, but it's just like, it's the prettiest shimmer.
It's like pearl.
It's like pearl. It's like it's pearlescent or something.
Charlie's sister.
Okay, and now I'm just gonna do my roller again with my new concoction. I'm gonna roll off as much as I can. It doesn't take a lot. I don't want actual raised lines where I have my stencil.
Oh, Heather was sleeping in the class again.
Oh, how was your, was today your, oh no, was it yesterday?
She's just late to pay attention.
My days are all mixed up. How was your, oh, this roller's so annoying.
Huh?
How was your business meeting, Heather? Like, Heather goes to like, it almost sounded like a, not Chamber of Commerce, but I don't know. To meet with other business leaders and, you know, talk about advancing your businesses, which I think is kind of cool. Okay, so I'm going to make sure I've got a nice, thin, even coat over the whole thing. I went over this top so that it has the same amount of pearlescent. It's super pretty, you guys. Here's the exciting part. I get to pull this off.
Do you want me to move the level a little?
I just want to make sure I cover it everywhere so that I don't have any naked spots.
I mean, it is a bathroom and all.
Move it? What do you mean?
The laser, do you want me to move it up a little bit?
Yeah, can you, so that when I place it, it's in line with this one?
This is gonna be tricky.
I know you're busy over there and all.
I know. I'm trying not to give...
I would say, too, that pearlescent is really helping me because it can be hard just to see the sheen difference, but I can see the sparkle. So it helps me to know that I've covered that area. Makes that a little bit easier, too.
But me.
Okay, I'm letting Sean adjust the laser level because I'm going to move this to the next placement. I'd actually like to make sure it's somewhat accurate.
Sorry guys, I had to reach over the cameras and give you guys a shot.
Okay, so that's my level line, and it's in line with the very top of my stencil. So
Heather said it was fun.
I'm going to pull this from the wall.
That's all I got for you.
Okay.
WD-40, not on my walls.
Well, this isn't very much fun for you guys because I can see the sheen difference, but I'm going to guess it probably doesn't show on camera.
I got nothing.
No?
No, not yet.
Oh, I'm super bummed about that.
Here, you stay right. You just sit there and look pretty. I'll be right back.
That's what I do. All right, so here's my question. Let me color this really quick. If I line this stencil up, okay, I see what they're doing. So I'm going to find my level line. Let me make sure that it's level all the way across.
Let's see, I'm just going to try something.
Yeah, getting the black light out. Don't get a black light out in a bathroom with boys. Oh, there, that's pretty.
Does that come up, guys?
Okay,
just the shading because it's wet?
Can you see the sheen difference that's here? It just makes it look a little bit...
Where were you at 2 in the morning?
Yeah. This rash, I don't know where this rash came from. Yeah,
so about that.
Can they see it?
I think a little bit.
Can they see it better? Because I can see it
okay,
like right
thanks,
down
Cindy.
Right down
watch out for the cat.
Okay.
No, not next to the...
I know, I'm going to get him.
Yeah, I'm moving the house to clean that.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, he's alright.
Alright. Sorry, that's my cat. That's Sonic. This tiniest cat ever. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing. I've got my stencil nice and level. I've got my tape, but it's only on that side of my stencil because this side I obviously don't want to put tape on where I just put my design. This is kind of one of those things where I'm going to do a few of them and it's going to be, you don't really notice it until I step back and look at the wall as a whole. It's going to be pretty subtle.
I'm going to do the light once you get that one down. That way probably a better picture of it.
I can't hear you over here over my ruler. Honestly, this will go pretty fast. Once I kind of get the groove down, it's going to go pretty fast to get this whole wall done. I'm just going to do this one wall in here.
Once you get your groove thing.
I'm just focusing on that I don't get it on too thick. It's actually a really, really, really thin layer because I don't want to have like a raised design around the edges of that stencil. So I kind of, once I've laid off most of the material that was on my roller, I'm kind of over rolling it a little bit, just with a mostly dry roller.
So you're overdoing it?
I mean, that's what I do. Yeah. I really don't know when to quit. It's not a gift that I got. Okay, let's pull this off and see how I got it.
All right. All right, we're going back in the club.
Okay, can you see how my stencil pattern lined up? Okay, so this has like a, and I lined the lines up, but this has kind of a square in the middle, and those match up. Okay, so that's kind of what I was using to line my stencil up. So I find a place in the pattern and then line it up as closely as I can, and then I've got my level line across the top. Can they see it now?
Yeah. Thanks, Marilyn.
What do you guys think? I think it's going to be really pretty. It's just going to be kind of subtle. This is a really small room, so I don't want to be too over. All right,
good deal. They can see it on Instagram too. So
I'll do one more placement going horizontally, and then we'll move up and do a row on top and see what that looks like. But normally I would go all the way across one row and then come up and do the next one. Okay.
I gotta back these up. I can see what you're thinking.
Sorry,
so close on the back of your head there.
Sorry about that. Not a lot going on in there, but okay.
All right. A lot of marbles rolling around in there.
I'm gonna find my line, make sure I'm lined up there. All right, my placement looks good. Get my tape seated in place. See, it's gonna go pretty quickly, I think, once I kind of get, I really like the pearl, you guys.
I should ask the boys what they think.
Yeah, Well, honestly, they'll probably really like it. My kids are pretty young, so now when they're like 16, they're gonna be like, super lame, Mom, can we paint the bathroom?
This is not the, hey guys, come over, have some brew, and use this bathroom over here, this is cool.
Bro, check out my bathroom.
You won't believe this.
I don't know, maybe we'll get a home decorator in the bunch. Alright, I'm not even refilling this foam roller. It's really one fill of it, kind of gets the whole thing. I'm not pressing, you guys. No pressure on my roller. I don't want it to squeeze out of the roller. I just want it to get that surface of the roller. But I want to make sure that I get pretty even coverage.
So Karen wants to know, can't you mark the holes on the top and that's how you'd match it up?
It doesn't. It leaves a gap in between the pattern. It leaves a gap in the pattern. So in theory I could, but I don't like how it matches up. It's weird. I don't, you know, maybe that's how it's intended, but I actually like it when
Which would make sense if you had, say, 2. Then you can just, you know, go to town.
Yeah.
But with a singular one, it's...
So I tried that. I marked one of them with a little bit of my clear coat, and then I lined it up there, but it left too far of a gap here. It had like a line. So I'm just putting them edge to edge, the pattern edge to edge. I'm sure that's optional. I just thought I like them matching up in the center. It all lines up. So I'm sure that's what it's intended for. I didn't care for that.
Just buy more than one.
I feel like it makes it look more like a stencil. Do you know when you stencil like letters and it's got a stencil line in it? I always come back and fill those in with something. So I could do that too. Maybe take an artist brush and, you know, paint in the center where it's supposed to meet up. Because anytime there's a stencil line in something, I try to paint over it with an artist brush or something so it doesn't look so obvious that it's a stencil. I kind of want this to look like maybe it's a damask wallpaper.
What'd you just say? It's a damaged wallpaper?
Okay, so that's my third. Looks good up the center.
I'm gonna give the people what they want.
You see what I mean? There's like this square here in the center, and I like them touching. Like, don't be scared of each other. We're all friends here. Okay, so let's go up now, and we'll do another row of these going up.
Hello.
That's really pretty.
It's okay.
Okay, so.
Sorry, Facebook, coming back for you.
Here's another thing though, and I did notice this about the stencil. I can't use the bottom of the stencil because the pattern, and I don't want to have a big gap there, I don't think. Feels like that's a big gap.
Oh man.
So maybe I should have just cut it, but I'm going to actually run the pattern. Instead of running the bottom of my stencil, I'm going to run the pattern to my laser level. Right there.
Well, if you figure out where it sits, then I can move the level.
By pattern, I mean the cut lines. Where the cut starts, I lined up the bottom here and the bottom here with my laser level instead of, yeah.
Huh?
I'm just making sure that's what I want to do. Yeah, that makes sense. How close to my pattern is that? Probably need to lower it because, yep, because the level was too high the first time. It doesn't accommodate for. See, I'm doing the mathing.
Oh.
Okay, so.
If you want, you can figure that out. I'll get the level to reset it to the height.
Yeah.
Again.
Let me figure out my placement, guys. Hang on one sec.
All right, I'm moving the laser.
Okay, so I need to be way down here because I need to accommodate for the fact that I had a gap at the top. All right, so let me find my pattern in the hole, and then I'm going to raise it up above that, and then I'll set my laser level to that height so that I'll be consistent.
Sorry guys, I'll adjust.
I don't have a repeat on this one, so
I'll just adjust now.
I'm thinking, okay, this goes above here.
All this mathing and thinking. We're going to the moon. We're on a Mars adventure.
Okay. So I'm going to go with right here. And then from here, I'll have Sean raise the laser level and then I can match up the top again with exactly where I am. Okay? How's that sound? Here's the deal, guys. When I came in here to do this, I also brought a spray bottle of water and some shop towels. If I mess one up, I'm going to wipe it back off again. Yeah. and I can redo it. So if there is errors, it's right in my face, actually.
That's fine. Just don't look at it, seriously.
My eyes.
Then you gotta walk around like a pirate.
Ooh, painting with pirates? That would be super popular. I bet then I could get a show on HGTV.
Oh, man. Is there rum involved?
Yeah. I'm just kidding, guys.
And a parrot?
All right. Let's get in the shower.
Trish, that's very true. I'm from Mars. Women are from... Come on.
Hey, I was too young when those books came out.
Oh,
I never read them. If they had those at my middle school library, I shouldn't have been going to school there.
Oh, lots changed since. Oh, boy.
All right, I'm making sure by looking at the sheen and all of the holes that I've got coverage on it. I can kind of look at an angle and see it in the light. Looks good. All right, let's pull this down and we'll go. I'm gonna make sure my pattern matches pretty good.
How are we?
Holy cow. Holy cow, I did it.
And it's on camera.
Holy cow, that actually worked.
What?
So what I'm looking at here is, see, I can see how this makes like a pattern right here. It's a 4 corners pattern. And it actually looks like the spacing is right. That never happens the first try. I thought for sure we were going to be wiping that bad boy off.
Amen to that. That's why I only tell you to do a couple of rows.
That's how I roll.
Yeah.
All right, and I'm going to find this line here that I've got to match up on the stencil. All right, there's my line. Got to pull it down a little bit over. Placement is huge. You guys take your time. Whoops. And then I'm going to let it move, so I have to do it all over again.
Sorry, I'm bouncing you guys all around.
So take your time in making sure your placement is accurate.
You're just like us. You're surprised when things go right.
Yeah. You guys
when they work out.
You guys don't see that. I mess up all the time. All the time.
And then we just call it a change of mind.
But
I decided to change my mind on its stencil.
I'll tell you what, like, I feel like you learn more from the mistakes because you have to learn then how to fix them. So I feel like you learn more from the mistakes than you do when everything goes right. It's like, oh, that's kind of how I expected it. When it goes wrong, you have to really think about like, okay, let me break this down. What did I do wrong? How do I fix it?
Are you saying I should expect divorce papers?
Yeah, what did I do? How do I fix it?
I mean, I'm just checking. I just want to make sure. I don't like being surprised.
I'm super excited for this, you guys. I'm not gonna lie, even beforehand, before I started on this, Sean was like, why don't we do a couple? Make sure you like it. If you don't, we can come back. I have enough paint left over, can go over it in some paint. But I'm liking it. I'm not liking this squeaky roller.
Did you say something?
Okay, just making sure I got even coverage, all my squares, boxes, circles, rounds, whatever.
I feel like back in preschool playing with some shapes.
I feel like this pattern, my Italian medallion pattern, Italian medallion stencil is sophisticated. It makes me feel fancy.
I was going to ask you earlier if your uncle was the battalion stallion.
He'll love that joke.
Yeah, I know. Come on.
My cat keeps walking in here, and I know he's going to be like, "Oh, clear coat." Can you guys see that? My pattern's starting to come to life. So one thing I'll say is if you're doing something like this, this is a large stencil. Obviously, the larger your stencil for a wall pattern, they make wall stencils. So try to find, if this was a little tiny stencil, it would not be fun to be doing this.
Sorry guys for the great camera work.
As usual.
I know.
We're used to it.
Well,
all right.
So the question is how can you tell as far as lining it up with the other? And it's because it's still wet. It's got
it's got that pearlescent in it too. And then I'm using the laser level at the top. And then in my pattern here, I've got a line that matches up where the last one ends. So I just scooted it right to the edge of that and then made sure it was level across the top. Okay, the laser level helps a lot. It's making me not have to like worry about the bottom matching up and everything like that, because once I get my one
if you get a little turn in it or a twist,
yeah, I can just run with it. Okay, and this is a gloss clear coat mixed with pearlescent glaze is what I'm rolling on. It's pearlescent glazes from Wise Owl, and I'm going over 1 hour ceramic, also from Wise Owl, and the color is called Renovation Gray, Restoration Gray. Dang it. Renovation Gray.
You make me go get it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Renovation Gray. Renovation Restoration. Help me out, guys.
Starts with an R.
You guys, I want to say while I'm live on the camera, so as I'm learning new products, I do have to learn all new color names, you know, new terminology, and I want to thank the Wise Owl retailers have been on my lives a lot. You guys are awesome. You guys have been helping answering questions and stuff for people. You know, if I don't know the answer to something as I'm learning it, I'll tell you, I don't know the answer, let me look into it. You know, I try to only speak stuff that I'm familiar with, but color names are probably the biggest issue right now, that I'm trying to learn all the color names.
Renovation.
Renovation Gray. Renovation, okay. Thank you. Renovation Gray is my wall color, so it's a very blue gray. It's got a lot of blue in it, especially in this light right here. I'm seeing a lot of blue in it, even though it's called a gray.
Well, Jane, as far as this one, the stencil, as you move it and then pushing it up against the other, if it's smudging, you know, what you just painted because it's so wet.
There's so little on it, so I'm using my roller. It has very, very, very little material on it. I mean, I could come back and touch this, and it's like, I mean, I don't want to rub it or anything, but there's so little material on that roller that when I touch it, so my pattern lines up here. I see with this 4 square pattern, I can really tell if it lines up. This is where my 4 squares match up in this square right here. And it's all touching.
Don't touch me.
So that, the laser level helps a lot. It's lighter as it's wet. It's drying slightly darker. So you can see my wet square to my dry squares. It's drying slightly darker. I love this, you guys. This would be really dramatic. This is a medium paint color. It's not too dark, not too light. If this was a really dark paint color with just the little bit of subtle sheen and this little bit of sparkle in it, it'd be really pretty. So I feel like I need to move that way to do any more. So I'm probably gonna leave this here while we're on camera, and I'll keep going that way because I'm gonna run out of room. How long have I been on? I don't have a clock in here.
We don't have a clock in the bathroom?
Well, maybe other kids do.
Oh, they do? Okay.
Yeah.
It's like 6:43.
Okay.
So you've been on for about 10 minutes.
Yeah. I was late again. I do have a clock in my bathroom because when you have kids and they have to get ready for school and they're in their comb and their hair, I don't even have girls or anything, but you have to have a clock. Who has a clock in the bathroom? Everybody does. Right?
Shout out.
Yeah, shout out to the clock in the bathroom.
That's awkward.
So I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna move down though. I went ahead and did that second row.
You're gonna make me adjust this?
So that I could show you stacking it.
Because here's what you could. Oh.
Just continue with my second row.
You could, can't you? How are you lining it up?
How am I lining it up?
You had the top of the stencil on the line.
All right, I'll just keep going. And only because my laser level is placed.
And then normally, you can yell at me when it doesn't match.
I would have completed a first entire row before I start stacking. Okay, so one row at a time. I just wanted to show you the stacking on camera, but I'll show you again. I've got a pattern here that where it stops. I'm matching that up. I gotta find the sheen difference. Okay, I'm matching that up to that spot on my stencil. So how I do that is I let it go over and then I pull it right to the edge of that. Let it be level at the top.
Susan has Siri in her bathroom, so she asks her.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Isn't that like an invasion of space?
So yeah. What if it's watching you? We have Google Home, you know, which is like Siri, like Amazon.
It's all spyware.
But I don't have one in the bathroom. They're in every room of the house. The kids use them as their alarm clock. That's the radio.
It's their dictionary, their thesaurus.
Yeah. Sometimes they'll come to me and they'll be like, hey, Mom, what's the circumference of the Earth? And I'm like, that's a Google question.
Oh, Marcia, there will be no doubt. Yes, she will be going up. It's all the way 10 feet. Fun on a ladder.
I will. Well, I'm making sure that Sean is watching me on the smaller one because I think the top row Sean's going to be getting. I'm a little short even on the ladder. I don't like being on a ladder. I'm not afraid of heights or anything, but I'm really, really, really shaky.
So I'm afraid of heights, and why do I get to be the one on the ladder?
Are you? Well, that's going to be a problem. Yeah, it has nothing to do with heights. I just do not like being on a ladder. I've seen too many, like, I don't know, those TikTok videos and stuff where people totally eat it on a ladder. All right.
But it's okay if your husband goes up on the ladder. I see how this works.
We'll miss you.
He just was never quite the same.
He made it for that first mile.
Like the dog on vacation.
All right, so I even out that coverage because I do not want like thick and thin spots on my stencil.
That's nice tile work on the line.
That one, yeah, that's okay. I'm gonna come back and I'll just artist brush that a little bit.
You gotta give the people what they want.
That one should have been closer, but I'm okay with it. It's really pretty. Can I see it?
Yeah.
Okay, and then this wall is gonna have our towel hooks on it, and I'll have some art hung up above that. And then this will just be like a little subtle pattern. So I think that's really pretty, guys. All right, so what we used tonight is I used the Italian medallion, large Italian medallion stencil. I'm gonna put a link for this up in the heading of the post after I get off. So you guys can find this. I really like Royal Design stencils. They're nice and they have nice and big sizes. They also have a furniture size stencil. They have really pretty designs. So I'll put a link for this up in the description for this post so you guys can find it. And then I used pearlescent glaze from Wise Owl, and this is Annie Sloan gloss clear coat. All right, that was kind of cool. And then we used a high density foam roller. High density foam. Mine is from Wiz, but any brand of high density foam roller absolutely works. Okay, you guys, is my head cut off? I feel like it is.
No, not at all. But you could go down a little bit.
I'll go down a little bit. All right, you guys, I'm gonna pop off. I'm gonna finish this room up.
This looks awkward.
I want to get the room all together, and we still have to install the glass in here. So once I get everything done and this room is done, I'll get you guys some pictures of it once it's all done and put back together.
I feel like you're super far away.
Yeah, give me a couple weeks.
No, I don't mean from time. I mean from the camera.
It's so pretty, that little bit of sparkle. I'm telling you, putting that pearlescent glaze in there made a world of difference. So you guys, I'm gonna let you guys go. I have a new video coming out on my YouTube channel. You guys already have seen the piece. Do you remember last week I did a texture challenge, and it had the orange and the blue and the cream color. You guys are gonna see how I did that. That is my YouTube video tomorrow. So you guys go find my YouTube channel, Brushed by Brandy. There's a tutorial that comes out every Friday. And that's my Friday video for tomorrow. You guys have a great weekend, and I'll catch you guys next week.